Hey guys, I'm Woden, and today we're going to talk about Commander in Magic the Gathering. What does your Commander say about you? What does your Commander do for your deck? Does it change anything when it hits the field? When you summon your Commander for 2, 3, 4, 5 or more mana, what actually happens? Does it instantly change something when it comes onto the field? Does it have an ETB? Does it let you cast things for cheaper? Does it generate something every turn? These are the sorts of questions that you want to ask yourself in order for you to build an effective Commander deck. So, the Commander, it needs to add value to your actual deck. Okay, so what is the game plan? This is the first thing. We're going to talk about the game plan. The game plan. What is your game plan? How do you like to play? How do you want to play? Do you prefer to whack your opponents straight in the face? Do you prefer to sling spells at them and damage them this way, non-creature spells? Do you prefer to go really wide with creatures and have tons of tokens or tons of really cheap creatures for next to nothing? Do you prefer to grow really tall and get big monstrous creatures? There are dozens of ways to play Magic the Gathering Commander, and this is where you need a game plan. So, first, think about what it is that you want your deck to do. Recursion, life gain, life drain, etc., etc. Have your game plan first. Have that, and then you can think about looking for a commander that is going to perhaps identify with you, or simply be very synergistic with your deck. So part number 2, what actually makes a good commander, you might ask? Well, like I said, it should do something immediately, whether that be an ETB, or whether it has haste, or whether it draws you cards, or whether it removes something, or it reduces the mana cost. It should be able to affect the field immediately, okay? And every time it casts, it should repeat that value. So, if your commander is removed, is it going to affect the game so much or still enable your win conditions when it's recast for more expensive mana? Because the reality is, when you play a commander game, people are watching you play your commander. And if they don't like your commander, or something happens and your commander is removed, you are going, as the commander yourself, as the planeswalker, as the player, you are going to have to justify that extra new cost for it to summon your commander back to the field so that they can do their job. So, your commander, in short, should define your deck's plan. Okay? We're going to go over some examples of some commanders that I actually use a little bit later in the video, but that's what you need to keep in mind when you're looking for your commander. Okay? It should define your deck's plan. Also, it should be worth protecting. So if you just throw your commander out and you're not trying to protect it, for example, you're not using any Swiftfoot boots, you're not using any Champion's Helm, you're not giving it protection from colors, you're not giving it indestructible, you're not giving it shroud, you're not giving it anything like that. If your commander is not worth protecting, you want to ask yourself, is it really a good commander? Or is it a commander that fits? Is it a commander that you feel is the soul, the heart and soul, the head of your deck, the commander of your army? So think about that as well. And also, a commander, in my opinion, it should not rely on many other cards in order for it to be able to function. So whatever is going on in the text of the commander that you have, it shouldn't need a whole lot of anything else to make a difference in a commander game with up to 3 other players. Because, why? If things start to get removed, your commander is just going to be a sitting duck. So they need to be at least able to rely on themselves to a degree. Now, I grew up crazy about Final Fantasy. So all of the Final Fantasy games I grew up with, I played, not all of them, but most of them. And my favourite of all time was Final Fantasy VII, as cliche as that might be. And as people probably know, if you're watching this channel, Magic the Gathering released, not long ago, Final Fantasy. Now, some of the cards got their own commander decks, i.e. Cloud, Terra, Istola, and Tidus. So there was 4 commander decks released with Magic the Gathering. These commander sets are just precons, okay? But perhaps they were not your favourite characters. For example, the first deck I got was Cloud. Okay, Cloud, the ex-soldier. He's a red, white, green leader and focuses mainly on equipment. I went for Cloud because I love Final Fantasy VII. I got all the characters that were inside the game straight into one deck. And that was the only deck that really spoke to me from the Final Fantasy games, because I grew up with Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII, and Final Fantasy VIII did not get its own commander deck. But I divert. We're going to talk about my commanders. So first one is Cloud. Following this, I built a Tifa deck, mono green smash face deck. Then I built a lightning deck. And then I built a Sephiroth deck. Okay, we're going to compare a couple of these commanders and see which ones hit the boxes. So, we've got Cloud, the ex-soldier that leads the crew. This commander says he has haste, so like we said earlier, he immediately is able to affect the field because he can act as soon as he is summoned. He's 5 mana, so he's the mid-curve, so you want to expect that kind of impact when he does get on the field, so this is another tick. He's a 4/4, so he has some decent hitting power, and don't forget, that's commander damage. But that's not where Cloud stops. When Cloud enters, attach up to 1 target equipment that you control to it. And whenever Cloud attacks, draw a card for each equipped attacking creature that you control. Then, if Cloud is power 7 or greater, create a treasure token. Now, in my opinion, there's a reason that Cloud is very popular in terms of Magic commander leaders, and that's because he does a hell of a lot as soon as he enters the field. For example, you have got equipment on the board ready, okay? You've held off on summoning your commander, maybe you didn't have the mana, or maybe that's just the way you're playing, yeah? And then your equipment's there waiting, warping equipment or game-changing equipment, powerful equipment that's on the field. You summon Cloud, bam, he's straight away, he's going to equip the equipment and he's able to swing straight away at a player. Not only that, but if you can get his attack power to 7 or greater even, you're going to generate treasure and you're going to draw cards, yeah? So Cloud is doing so much. He's giving you attacking power, as in threatening the board. He's doing card advantage with card draw, and he's doing ramp with creating new treasure. Not to mention artifact generation, as treasures are. So there's the sacrifice element there as well, if you like. So in terms of value for a commander, Cloud earned his place. He is really good, a very good commander. Okay, and then I think we can compare Cloud to my next build, which again, familiar, Tifa. So Tifa, let's remember, Cloud is 3 colours, so we get access to many different cards, many different colour cards. Tifa is just mono green, okay? So our pool is much smaller, and that needs to reflect your commander plan, okay? Because you maybe not have access to certain pieces of removal or protection that you want. So some cards that you want that perform a certain function, such as protecting your commander, you may need to spend, because these spells are going to be more rare, they're going to be more sought after, and there's more demand for them. Anyway, so let's take a closer look at Tifa. Tifa is a 1 colourless and 1 green. She's a 1/2, and she has natural trample. So this is another thing with commanders. A lot of the good ones, they have tags, okay? They have tags. Tifa has trample. Cloud has haste. So both of them are going to be able to add value immediately. And then Tifa says landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, double Tifa Lockhart's power until the end of the turn. Okay, so what does that say about these commanders? It says that Cloud is like a mid curve and Tifa is like a low curve, realistically, because Tifa can get on the field immediately. Okay, she's an immediate threat, and she can ramp from the landfall to crazy amounts of attack power, but literally just for 1 turn, and then her guard goes back down because her attack increases and doubles whenever you put land down, and that's scary to everybody. But what's not scary is her toughness does not raise with that. So when she does attack, she's got the very real threat of dying, of being removed. So both of these commanders have their strengths. Tifa is potentially player ending, game ending, in literally, I've done it 3 turns. I've made her in huge amounts of power just in 3 or 4 turns. And Cloud is going to take more setup, but Cloud has more function, if you like. He's got built-in card advantage. He's got built-in mana ramp. Tifa is a glass cannon, okay? So this says something about how you want to play this game that you're going into. Maybe you have both of these decks, like me. Are you wanting to literally smash face? Then you jump in with Tifa and build the deck properly where you got lots of mana ramp. Are you going to go for sort of like a mid game, you know, and then you can jump in there with Cloud? And for that reason, I would say that Cloud is a super high value. I would probably give Cloud 5 stars in terms of commander value. In terms of Tifa, I would probably give Tifa as commander value. I would probably only give Tifa a 2 because she's out for herself. She's a one-hit wonder. She's a you know, she wants to strike first. She's like one punch girl. I love the deck. I absolutely love using the deck, and she's one of my favorite characters. Damn. But yeah, she's if she starts to get removed and things like that, or you're hoping for her to make an immediate impact on the board, it's not going to be as easy as that because green doesn't have so much access to things like haste. So you're really going to have to try to protect her. Whereas Cloud, he can just suit up as soon as he enters. So you got you know, the Swiftfoot boots on the field. He just attaches them right away, protects himself. All right, so we've got Cloud at a 5, and I'm setting Tifa at a 2. And then I've got my 2 other leaders. So I'm going to go in order of the way that I built them. I built Lightning, Army of 1 after that. Now, I feel like Lightning represents a part of me. That's why I built Lightning. She's more of a serious sort of side to me where I just want to, where I'm focused, you know, OneEye, on the cards. And not to mention, lightning comes with some crazy tags. Okay, so let me just read it for you. So we got lightning here. She's 3 to summon, so she's a 1 red and a white. So she's rocking with Boros here. So you're expected to, you know, perhaps go fast, go hard, right? And lightning's a 3/2, and she has the tags First Strike, Trample, and Lifelink. That is scary to many players. And lightning has the ability Stagger. Whenever lightning deals combat damage to a player, until your next turn, if a source would deal damage to that player or a permanent that player controls, it deals double that damage instead. So, you notice what's going on here. The girls that we've got here in Final Fantasy VII, they're generating no card advantage. They are generating no mana. They are not generating anything when they enter the field. Nothing. So, for that reason, both of these commanders, for me, actually stay at a 2. Because they are, although they're affecting the morale of other players are going to probably be nervous because of the power that these legendary creatures, these commanders, can achieve in such a short time. Because let's face it, 3 mana, 2 mana, you can get these on the field like that. So you can start to change things in the game very fast. But Cloud needs more work. But Cloud has more value because, like I said, card draw, mana ramp. Alright, so if I've left Cloud at 5 and I've put Tifa and Lightning at 2, my next one is Sephi. Or Sephiroth. Okay, so Sephiroth again is just 3 mana. He's 2 colorless and 1 black, and he's a 3/3. Sephiroth says, whenever Sephiroth enters or attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, draw a card. Whenever another creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. If this is the 4th time this ability has happened this turn, transform Sephiroth. And then Sephiroth flips into a devastating creature. It becomes Sephiroth the One-Winged Angel, a 5/5 that has flying. And Sephiroth says, Supernova. As this creature transforms into Sephiroth One-Winged Angel, you get an emblem with, whenever a creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Whenever Sephiroth attacks, you may sacrifice any number of other creatures. If you do, draw that many cards. So, going back, he's cheap. He's as cheap as lightning to summon, and just 1 color, not complicated. Yeah, you don't have to mana fix too much. That immediately makes him a very valuable card. And then, don't get me wrong, Sephiroth has no tags when he enters. He doesn't have haste, no first strike, nothing like this. Although I do think that he should, according to the game. But Sephiroth can generate immediate value as soon as he hits the field, because whenever Sephiroth enters or attacks, yeah, you can sacrifice another creature, and if you do, draw a card. So the guy has card draw for days, okay? So if you can bounce him back, you can keep sacrificing and drawing a bunch of cards, okay? And then you can make him attack as well, and you draw another card. As well as that, when other creatures die, you can target a player and you can take some life and gain some life for yourself. And then if you do manage to get him triggered 4 times in 1 turn, you are pushing him over into his flying state, and then you're going to get the emblem. So in terms of commander value, let's look at what's going on here. Cloud and Sephiroth. Okay, the 2 big icons of Final Fantasy VII. Immediate on-entry impact. immediate other player fear factor. Card draw. Card draw. Sephiroth doesn't quite have the mana ramp, but Cloud does. So Cloud's got an up there, but Sephiroth's draining life. Cloud's not. Cloud has to get through. He has to get through the opponent, which requires some more setup or a clean field. Sephiroth doesn't need that. You just give Sephiroth some easy to sacrifice creatures you don't care about, or ones that have triggers too, and he's damaging your opponents for you, and he might not even have to swing. You just have to enter him. So both of these creatures, both of these legendary creatures, both of these commanders, Cloud and Sephiroth, I'm going to give a 5. Tifa and Lightning, yeah, I think I'd give them a 2. Because Tifa can end it fast. Yeah, you've got a good hand, Tifa can end it fast. But she's limited. She's striking typically one player, and she's going to go back to being a glass cannon. That power to end the game is likely going to dissipate after that one-hit strike on somebody. Lightning is super scary, but does she have immediate impact on the board? Card draw, no. Mana ramp, no. But fear factor, absolutely yes. So what's the point of all this? What's the summary of all this? Go for commanders that speak to you above all, if you ask me. Okay, and then build around that. If you're going to build Cloud, you know, the precon is amazing, to be honest. It's very strong. There's a couple of things that you want to change, but if you just want to stick to the Final Fantasy VII theme, then you don't have to change anything. And it's still going to operate on a very strong level, to be honest, at a table, unless they start removing your artifacts. The other 3, if you're interested in these commanders, you're going to have to build and build by yourself. But in terms of Lightning, for example, you're going to have to build around her weaknesses, and her weaknesses is that she has no card draw, she has no ramp. She's a finisher. She wants to connect, and trust me, if she connects once, it can be over for everybody, because I've done it. Tifa, a little bit slower on ending a game, but faster on ending an opponent if you've got the right card and the right setup. And then you've got Sephiroth, and Sephiroth is, I would say Sephiroth is more of a longer gamer than Cloud. Sephiroth is bleeding you every turn, you know, and you can get him to some insane levels. Cloud's going to try and end it around mid-game, I would say. Lightning's looking for that perfect chance. Tifa's looking to just smash immediately. So that's what you want to look for in your commanders. If you're looking beyond identification and what it says about you, look for something that has some effect, something that impacts the board, something that has repeated value. Okay, and that's my take on commanders for this video. I hope you found it useful. Follow for more, subscribe for more, and I will see you next time.